Welcome everyone, I'm Plays Games and this is episode 3 of EVE Online Let's Play. In the last episode we did the introduction tutorial, we killed a few things, we got some new weapons, we tidied up the UI a little bit, and at the very last we set destination to the career agents for the advanced tutorials. And before we go there are some housekeeping things we need to do in this station. Claiming today's gift. Okay. You see here, this is speeding up all of our training time, and on training time we made a grave error in the last episode. We logged off without filling up the training queue. This is something you really shouldn't do. On the subject of skills, I really want to rush this character to cruisers because I think cruisers are some of the most capable and versatile ships in the game, and some of the things I want to show you are best done in cruisers. So as we can see under my skills, we don't have a Mar cruiser yet, so we'll have to buy it. So we go to all skills. You can either scroll to find it, or you can use this search bar in the top right. Here it is, a Mar cruiser. Mousing over shows you how long it will take us to train the prerequisite skills to unlock this skill. View required skills. Okay, here we are. New Spaceship Command 2. 2 white squares tell us we've already reached this level. New Spaceship Command 1, obviously. If we've got Spaceship Command 2, we've got Spaceship Command 1. We need a Mar Frigate 3 and a Mar Destroyer 3. Now, the large grey squares tell us we have this skill already, so let's find it in the skill queue and drag the 2 levels we need. So now it's a Mar Frigate 2 and a Mar Frigate 3, both training. And we need a Mar Destroyer. Now the grey dots tell us we don't have this skill, so we're going to have to buy it. Now you can buy it directly from the skill sheet, but this is actually at a 30% markup, so we should be able to find it cheaper on the market. So right click on the skill. Go to View Market Details. Expand the market window. Yes, as we can see, instead of spending 130,000, here it is for 99,000. So right click, buy this, check that the price is the same, then click buy. Now close the market, and here is our newly purchased skill book. Inject skill. As you can see, this consumes the skill book and puts the skill at level 0 on your skill sheet, so you never have to carry skill books around with you. You can inject them into your brain. So let's add Destroyer 1 and 2 and 3. As you can see, this is going to take us over a day to train, but luckily, due to the free gifts, we have unallocated skill points here. If we click this button, it will apply all of these skill points to our current queue and save us a great deal of time. Or alternatively, you can go up to a skill which is not in the skill queue and right click it and manually apply the skill points to it. We'll be going through how skill points and training works at a later date, but for now I'm just going to apply them all to this queue to get us moving. As you can see, it's going to completely train a Mar Frigate 2 all the way, and a really good chunk of a Mar Frigate 3, so we'll just do that.
Skill training completed.
Here we are, we've gone from 1 day 6 hours to 18 hours 19 minutes, which is fantastic. See, the skill queue's still not quite full. So let's view market details on the cruiser book. This is going to cost $1 million and we don't have that much money yet. So let's go and earn some money to buy the book we need. Before we make this trip, let's see if there's anything we need to take with us. No, I don't think we need this civilian Gatling laser. There's another skill to inject. Let's just get it off the board. I don't think we need to take any of this stuff really. So let's check rule 1, can we afford to replace the ship? Yes we can, because we know we've got 2 other ships and lots of fittings here. So let's undock and make our way to the career agents. Much less spam on overview today, that's nice to see. As Aura says, when you have a course laid in, you will see the stargates you need to go highlighted in yellow, so select it. You can right click and select jump, or you can left click it and select jump up here in the selected item panel.
Warp drive active.
Let's clear up the UI a little bit. I don't think we need search to be open, so you just click these little icons at the top and gets rid of that. I don't think we need the full information about the system we're in, so we'll click this triangle just to minimize it. We can leave the route open, we'll leave the tutorial open. The scaling spree, much like the daily rewards, is a daily task. This changes day to day. Sometimes it'll be nice, like this one, kill 1 NPC and get 2,500 skill points. Sometimes it will say kill 10 and get 25,000. And other times it will tell you to enter the PvP proving grounds where a rookie like us will last seconds and we'll die and lose everything we have, but we'll still get some skill points for it. As you can see, the next Stargate in the chain is still highlighted yellow and it is automatically populated up here in the selected item panel. So it's easy to just progress. And here we are at the career agent station. Select agent submissions, then career agents, and I think because we like killing things, we'll start with the military career path. These agents are listed here on the right hand side because they live in this space station. This is what mission offer screens always look like. You get a brief description here and then more details here. The location, yes, that's the same system we're in, so we won't have to do any jumping. This is the rewards we get when we complete the mission, and this is bonus rewards we get if we complete it within a certain time limit. Let's accept that, and then close the panel. Never ever quit mission on a career agent because you will lock yourself out of all the rest of their missions. This button should not exist and the developers really need to get rid of it. Okay, let's undock and kill more things. You can warp to the mission from here, or by right clicking in space, selecting agent missions, an encounter, and then warping to it. But the big button's much easier. Just 2 bad guys. We know the drill by now. Target lock, approach, afterburn towards it to cut the distance quickly, and open fire. Again, because we're a MAR, we don't have to worry about wasting ammo, opening fire outside range. 1 down. Quick approach on the next one, I'll lock him up. There's our unallocated skill points, which we will allocate once we get back to the station. Now, these guys are so far away that they're outside of our maximum target locking range, so we'll just have to approach them and wait until we get into range. Whilst we're doing that, let's talk about wrecks in the overview. Eventually, in combat missions, we're going to have more wrecks than we have active targets, and it's going to become difficult to pick out the active targets. So what we can do is right click on a wreck and select remove wreck from overview. Yeah, and it's cleaned up that, but we can still see them in space. So we can click on them and add them back to the overview at the end of the mission. Later on we'll get into how to actually customize the overview properly with different tabs. But I don't want to confuse you, that's not what this series is about. Stop the ship. Add the wrecks back to overview. See, none of them have any loot for us. Oh well, never mind. Okay, mission complete. Back home again. Here you can double click on the agent to talk to him, or press the start conversation button. So this is easier. Complete mission. Excellent. The next thing we need to get rid of are the seriously annoying notifications which just spam you with useless information. So hover over, click on it to open it, and then click this settings gear wheel. This may take some time. Let's just get rid of agents, bills. Don't care about player to player bounties because they're almost useless anyway. Don't care about what Twitch streams CCP are doing because you're supposed to be watching me. Contacts will leave. Corporate, don't care, we're not in a player corp. Hypernet, which is player to player raffles and scams, so let's not bother about any of that. Insurance will leave and we'll get onto that. Miscellaneous. Scroll. Let's just get rid of all of this. We don't need to be bothered about any of that. Old. Don't even know what that is, get rid of that. Skill training, yes, skill training's nice because it's nice to know when you've completed things. Sovereignty, that is way above our pay grade. Structures, well we don't own any space stations I don't think, so let's get rid of that. And war, we can't be at war because we're an NPC corp. Right, that's that cleaned up. Okay, we have been given some different ammunition. Let's see what effect this different ammunition has in the fitting panel. You remember our measly DPS is 14.6, so let's remove the ammunition we have, and DPS drops to 0 because we have no ammunition. Let's drag the new ammo in. DPS goes to 25, which is a huge improvement. But as you can see, it has cut the optimal range to 2,500 meters and the optimal to around 4,500. Let's remove them, put the old ones back in. Much longer range. As I said, the main difference in a MAR ammunition is range and damage. Most of the time, the higher the damage, the shorter the range. Now I'm just going to keep this because we have an afterburner, so we can easily get into this range. And 25 is more than 14.3. As you can see, because we're in a different station, this is all the gear we have in this station. All the stuff we have at the old station will be listed here in the personal assets icon. Click that to see a list of all the stations that contain everything you own. This is where we came from. This is a list of all our gear. And there's a search bar to find specific items. This is also good if you get lost, which happens to a lot of players. So you can locate where you've got things stored, click on it, see if it's the place you want to go, and then right click and set destination. Another way of finding your way back if you get lost is to look at the local chat, because the system tells you every time it changes a star system, so you can scroll up and find your way back that way. Unless chat's scrolling really quickly and these will scroll off the top and you won't be able to find your way back. Double click on the agent and get our next mission. We have to go to a site, which again is in our current system, which is great. This time we actually have to pick up a mission item, so we actually have to loot something and bring it back here. The reward is a whole new ship. Oh, and the bonus reward is 194,000, which brings us even closer to the 1 million we need for the cruiser skill book. Let's accept this mission, close this, undock, and see what damage our lovely multi-frequency small ammo will do. Hey, 3 bad guys, at least to start with. Some more may appear. Yeah, let's go for this little guy in his own. Again, he's way away, so let's afterburn towards him until he's in weapons range. While we're coasting in, let's talk about the orbit button. As you can see, when we click it, it orbits us at 1000. But that could be a little bit too close because our optimal is 2.5. So you right click on the button, set your default orbit distance, and we'll do something just under our optimal. There you go, that has changed it. Keep approaching in. And fire. And now you can click orbit. And now we'll be orbiting it. See the difference that ammunition makes? Wow. Generally speaking, I'd always advise you to fit the highest damage ammunition you can, and then use an afterburner or other kind of propulsion to get into range, but that comes with a lot of caveats and exceptions. We're flying through this. More bad guys, so let's remove the wrecks again. Watch the new guys. Lock them both up. Now, many people find these horizontal and vertical crosshairs on the targets annoying, and I do as well. So after we've killed everything, I'll show you how to turn them off. It's not too annoying for us because we can only target 2 things, but once you get more skills and you've got more targets, you'll have more crosshairs on the screen and it just clutters everything up. Stop the ship. The hotkey to stopping the ship is Control Spacebar. Turn this off. Open cargo. And our mission item has been magically teleported into our cargo hold. Very helpful of the game. Right, so to get rid of these terrible crosshairs, right, let's just target some wrecks. There you are. As you can see, it's just a mess of lines everywhere. You go up here to this tiny little overview settings button, open overview settings, go to the miscellaneous tab, and uncheck show targeting crosshair. There we are. Let's dock. One other thing we can do to speed up the docking process is get rid of this flying in and flying out of the station animation. Do this, you press escape, go to display and graphics and uncheck dynamic camera movement. Apply. That will speed things up for us. Start conversation with the agent. As you can see, we're at the correct station. Tick. We have the item. Tick. So let's complete the mission. Here we see we have a new ship. To actually get into and start using this new ship, you right click and assemble it, because at the minute it's in a flat packed state, which is what this 1 denotes. If we had 2 of them and they were both flat packed, they'd be in a single stack of 2 with a 2 here. Right click and assemble, and then you can right click again and make active, or just drag it from here into the main viewer. I think we need to get a proper look at this, so we'll remove the UI. The hotkey for this is Control and F9. There we are. Not quite as shiny, but it looks a lot meaner, and it's got moving parts. And any ship with moving parts always gets my vote. And Control F9 to restore the UI. Now, it would be good if we actually put some items on this ship. As you can see, when you assemble the ship, it comes with nothing on it. Now, we've only got one weapon here. So, what we want to do is to transfer the old stuff from our old ship onto this new ship. There are several ways of doing this. We can go back into the old ship, open fitting window, click this little unfit module icon, or as we did previously, right click and unfit. Or you can right click the entire ship and click strip fitting. Do you really want to remove all modules from your ship? Yes please. As you can see, we're emptied out. The strip fitting will not remove cargo items. Reactivate our new ship. Open fitting window, and let's see what we have. As you see, we have more low slots, more mid power slots, and more high power slots on our previous ship, which is fantastic. Although we have 4 high power slots, you might think we could fit 4 weapons, but that would be incorrect. As you can see here, there is a turret hardpoint restriction. So we can only fit 3 turrets, or 3 laser weapons to this ship. So what goes in the empty high slot? Well, a number of utility items that we don't need to know about now, but let me just say that having a utility high slot like this is extremely valuable later on in the game. Now we could put our beam laser and 2 pulse lasers on the ship, but mixing weapons is generally a bad idea for a myriad of reasons I won't get into just now. So just do that. DPS is the same. Get our afterburner on. Now, on some ships, our DPS would be more than it is on the Imperator. This is due to the ship's traits. You right click on the ship and select Show Info. Get here. This traits shows you all the bonuses this ship gets. The roll bonus can be thought of as an intended use bonus. So the intended use of this is to use propulsion jamming. That's things like webifiers and warp jammers that we don't need to know about just yet. And this bonus per level of a MAR frigate gives us 10% reduction in small energy turret activation cost, which saves on our capacitor battery energy, and a 5% bonus to small energy turret damage, which is great. We show info on our Corvette. This does not have any skill based traits, it just has static roll bonuses, which is damage and warp destruction and armor resistances. If you remember, our DPS on this ship was 25 with the same weapons. This was due to it having a 10% bonus to damage, and our new ship also has 25, but as you can see from the traits, this will rise as our Amar frigate skill level rises. So in 2 hours and 20 minutes, we'll get another 5% damage. We need to take care of the Neocom menu because this flashing is beginning to annoy. See what's flashing? The mission journal. Now the mission journal really wants to be on the menu bar, so let's just drag it in like this. Right, let's think about customizing this. What things do we really need? Well, inventory is always good. Mail, don't really need that, so remove the shortcut. Project discovery, remove that, we're not going to use that. Journal, help, chat channels, ship hanger, fitting. Here there are a couple of other things I'd like to add to this. Come down to utilities, there is a notepad function, which is fantastic. And a calculator function, which is also very, very useful. Wallet, yes. Market, yes. Fitting, yes. Right, that'll do for customization. Let's talk to the agent. Kill more bad guys, again, in our current system. Get a mission item, and bring it back. Our reward is another 2 of these same weapons, and 220,000, and another 251,000 if we do it in less than 5 hours 34 minutes. Oh, I don't think it's going to take us that long. Okay. Now, we will Ep3 weapons. So we will remove the old ones. And we'll put all 3 of the new ones on. Drag the ammo on. There we are. 37.9 DPS. And because they are beam lasers, they are slightly longer range than the old pulse lasers. So once we undock and get into the mission, we'll probably have to change our orbit button once again. The journal lists all the missions you have active and what status they are. You can double click on it to reread the briefing if you can't remember what you're doing. I'm going to right click on it and disable the button blink, because all these buttons just blinking and flashing away just distracts. Okay, there are quite a few bad guys here. Now these guys are nasty and they need to die first. They apply a webbing effect which will slow us down. Let's stack the weapons and open fire. Your new fall off is 5,200, so let's change the orbit to 4,500. See, we have the webbing debuff, and our maximum speed has been cut by the web until we kill it. Now instead of using orbit all the time, the button next to it is called keep at range. This, as the name implies, keeps you at a static range from the target and keeps you lined up without orbiting and circling, which makes it easier for your turrets to hit. So we'll set this at about 6,000. Click the button. As you see, we'll approach it in a straight line, and once we're at that range, the ship will attempt to keep us at that range. Which is not easy when you're as fast as this little guy. Well, that definitely worked, didn't it? Once again, the mission completion item has been magically teleported inside our ship. This is because unscrupulous players would scan you down with probes, jump into your mission, and steal it from the wreck and then hold it for ransom. That's just Eve. Okay, we got something that's not metal scraps. We have a module. Excellent. Our first real loot. On top of having significantly more capacitor, we also have a ton more shield, armor, and structure hit points on this ship. There. Much quicker without the docking animation. Look on the agent. Give me my money, good sir. I thank you. Where are we at now? 689. Almost at that million we need for that skill book. Let's request the next mission in the chain? No, we're not even killing anything. We're just to approach a Stargate. And our reward is a better afterburner than the one we have, which is nice, and 128,000 if we could do it in under 3 hours. So let's accept. Close the panel, get a move on. Okay, so let's do what we're told and approach the Stargate. Nothing happened. That wasn't a good sound. Oh no! Area of effect damage. Okay, this mission was teaching us about area of effect damage. Not many things in the game cause it. But this mission does, so let's get out of here before our shield completely goes.
Drive active.
Remember we said that shield automatically regenerates over time? When you dock, your shield and capacitor are recharged fully, which is a handy trick. Instead of hanging around in space waiting for it, you can just find a space station and dock and then undock and go right back into it. Okay, let's complete the mission. Lovely. Right. Open fitting panel. Now you can only have one of these active at a time. You can have them fitted, but you can only turn one on, they don't stack. This is the one we have at the minute. Maximum velocity 738. And this is the one we just got, maximum velocity 983, so I think we'll get rid of that to make space, and we'll keep this one. Hey, during the course of these missions, we managed to complete our daily task, so we can click the daily task and clear it off the UI, and we can apply our 2,500 skill points.
Skill training complete.
Excellent. That has finished our Amar Frigate 3 and started us on Amar Destroyer 1. Remember we said that when we got Amar Frigate 3 we would get more damage, so let's open up. Yep, 37.9 now. Let's talk to the agent, carry on with his chain, get his instructions. Yeah, now even though we're Amar and we usually use armor for defense, we're being granted a shield hardener, which is fine, anything's good, and more money if we complete. So accept this, close. Let's fit it to the ship. Again, you can drag and drop, or you can right click, fit to active ship. Now we can open the defense and investigate what this is doing. This is our resistances to the various damage types I briefly outlined in the previous video. At the minute we have no shield EM damage resistance. You think, this should be adding 28. Well yes it will when we turn it on, because this is an active module. This needs to be activated the same way the afterburner and the guns do. But to simulate that, you click on the simulate button, and the ship goes into a wireframe, and here we see this is the 28 registering here. You can turn it off and turn it on. And you see this also affects our capacitor energy. With it off, capacitor is stable, which means that the afterburner and the weapons running all the time is balanced out by our capacitor regeneration rate. So we know that we can have the afterburner and the guns running constantly and never deplete. That when we turn this on, it goes down to 11 minutes 30. Means when we have all 5 of our modules running, capacitor will only last for 11 minutes 30, and then things will shut down until it regenerates. Well, 11 minutes is more than enough for what we need to be doing. So let's just do it. Warp to location.
Warp drive active.
And here we see our new module here. The mid power slots don't have to stay here. You can drag your modules around on this as you wish. This can make it easier. As you can see in the background, there's the hotkeys to activate that particular slot. So you can put your guns on the F1 slot and your afterburner on the F2 slot if you wish. These hotkeys make life easy. The mission says we need to destroy all enemies in the area. Let's lock him, orbit him. Now this is more clutter, so we can right click, remove large collidable structure from overview. There we are, much better. Okay, wow, we actually got something that's actually useful. Excellent. Start conversation. Complete the mission. Thank you very much. And let's request the next one. Destroy their outpost. Alright, we're getting something really nice. This is an implant. When we get it, I'll explain more. This site contains ship restrictions. Some missions restrict what ships you can take inside them. Ships permitted. You may use your executioner to access it, or one of the following. Well, it's not much of a restriction really, is it? Basically, it's not restricted at all. Let's accept. What was this? First of all, let's drag all our loot out. Yeah, let's open fitting. We have an armor repairer here. I would fit it to the ship, but we don't have the skill for it. Sensor booster. The attribute shows you what it does. Essentially, sensor boosters extend your maximum targeting range and speed up the targeting speed. This is quite a cool thing to have, so I think we'll add this. Okay, this is an acceleration gate. This launches you into the mission room proper. This is so it can check that our ship meets the ship restrictions. We do, so left click on it and select Activate Gate. Let's turn this on so our shield is more resistant to EM damage, and turn this on so we can target things quicker. Now you could, if you wish to, click this to ungroup the weapons, select one target, activate one weapon on it, select a second target, put the other weapon on that, and select a third, and you can split your fire this way. It's not generally a good idea to split fire, but you can do it. Splitting weapons is good if you're fighting extremely weak enemies and you know for a fact that one gun is enough. Because obviously this can clear off a lot of incoming damage. Instead of killing one thing at a time, you can kill 3. If you can kill them. If your guns are too weak, you'll just end up chipping away at things and not doing any good. Turn these modules off to preserve capacitor, and turn the afterburner on so we can loot everything quickly. Turning modules on and off to maintain a balanced capacitor is a key player skill to learn. As you can see, there's quite a lot of wrecks here, and if we hadn't have removed them from the overview, picking out new enemies would have become quite difficult. So let's remove them all again and activate this gate to go to the second room in this mission.
Warp drive active.
Quite a lot of missions take place over several different rooms. They all follow the same basic principle: kill everything and then activate the gate. Alright, here you can see the structure we have to kill. You can actually target lock it from this. Here we are. And let's just chip away. Uh-oh, defenders. Oh, that's dead. Right, let's get some speed on. That alarm you heard was the "Oh shield" warning. And now our armor's being eaten away. This is terrible. We were managing to mitigate damage by orbiting because our shield is slowly regenerating itself.
Skill training completed.
Outstanding. I love hearing that. It's the first level of a Marn destroyer done. As you can see, although our orbit is set at 4,500, because we're going a little bit too fast, we've ended up in an elliptical orbit instead, and we're slightly outside of our weapon's optimal range, so we'll turn the afterburner off. Look at these lovely big damage numbers. Now I'm taking time to kill these because we need the money. You see our shield is getting slightly faster at regenerating. When it gets to about 33%, you'll see it'll get up to half really quite quickly. And let's just stop the ship. Alright, let's investigate what's in this wreck. The gun turrets dropped cargo containers. these are also loot, which we shall grab. Oh, metal scraps. What have we here? Trade goods. These only exist to be sold for money, but we need money, so we'll take them all. And what's in this one? Ammunition. So we'll take that as well. Right, let's get out of here.
Warp drive active.
Our very first armor damage. If you remember, armor doesn't repair itself. And we have a repair module back home, but we don't have the skill for it yet, so we'll look into obtaining and training that skill. And double click, right click, select everything in the ship, drag it into dock, and right click and stack it all up, just to reduce the clutter. Click on the agent, complete the mission. Okay, implants affect your skills. See here, you mouse over, you see perception and willpower, and on navigation, intelligence, perception, intelligence, memory. What are these strange things? Well, we go to character and attributes. Your skills train at different speeds according to how many points you have in your different attributes. This will be covered in much, much greater detail at a later date. So all we need to know, no info on this. This gives us +1 bonus to perception. So once we plug that in, our perception will go to 24 points, and any skill which uses perception will speed up training a little bit. This is good because perception is what we're training now, because we're training skills in the Spaceship Command category. Yeah, let's keep an eye on this. See, the total training time is 14 hours 53. Right click, plug in the implant. Yes, this is a good reminder. If your ship and escape pod both die, you lose your implants, or if you manually unplug the implant, it's destroyed as well. So let's plug it in. And training is gone to 14 hours 28 minutes, so we saved a little bit of time. Not too much, just a little bit. Let's show info. See, this is an armor repairer, which is nice because we need to repair our armor. The requirements are need are Mechanics 1, which we have, Mechanics 1, which we have, and Repair Systems 1, which we don't have. So let's right click, view market details. It's available in the station for 45,000, we can afford that. So let's buy it. Thank you. Right click, and we'll inject it. Now ideally, we train that straight away. So you can mouse over the thing you want to train for, click add to queue. There, it's automatically moved it down here. Do we really want to wait 14 hours? No, we don't. So we'll click it and drag it to the top of the queue. Right, in 14 minutes, we'll be able to use our armor repairer. This little icon denotes that when you have trained this level of the skill, you will unlock use of all these things. And this means it unlocks a more advanced skill, which is what we want. Right. Do we have a million ISK yet? We do have a million ISK. This is fantastic. Okay, go back into the skill sheet. Find Amar Cruiser. Right click, view market details. And then this is good. A player, for reasons best known to themselves, are selling it for 300,000 ISK less than the NPC price. But if we buy this, we will have to travel to this station to pick up the skill book. Now it's only 3 jumps away, so I'm going to do this because saving 300,000 is fantastic. Yes, we know. Thank you. Okay, purchase complete. And this is by far our biggest expense. It doesn't matter because you really only have to buy a skill book once in your entire EVE career. So they do pay for themselves eventually. So how do we find this thing which we have bought? You go to assets. Here it is, or we could find it here. Cruiser, enter. Okay. Right click, set destination, and let's go and get it. Right, I'll go and get that book, and I'll come back here, and I'll see you when we get back. In fact, I'll see you in the next episode, because I had no idea this had already run to about 45 minutes, so we will leave it here for this one, and I will see you in the next one. If you liked this military agent so far, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Comment about it down below, and subscribe so you don't miss the next part. Take care, and I'll see you soon.